What's going on, folks? I apologize. I am a little sick from my travels, but I am back from my vacation. Puerto Rico was amazing. I had an amazing time with my in-laws. They showed me the sights. They showed me their family that is still on the island, and I can't wait to go back. But speaking of coming back, I am back in the lab. I'm back in the chair. I'm back in front of the camera. I missed you guys. With that said, I actually created a small problem for myself. So not too long ago, I had a mini server giveaway on the channel, the first channel giveaway. Shout out to you, Castro. I actually sent out my server components so that Castro can get his build going. And the reason why I had to do that is with the prices of Raspberry Pis right now, I definitely did not have $900 to replicate a brand new mini rack server properly for Castro. Luckily, he's my boy. I was transparent with him and we were working things out back and forth, and I told him, hey man, I think I have an idea for myself. I'm going to go ahead and package my pies for you and my PoE switch. I'm going to go ahead and send it to you. Now, as you can see, my mini rack server is bare. It's not going to stay like that. So I have an idea of how I want to rebuild it, but I am still sitting here in front of you guys with no home lab and I need a temporary one. So how can I replicate what I have already shown you guys while not breaking the bank? And I have the perfect solution. All right, so back in the COVID days, I actually started another YouTube channel. It was called Chop City. A lot of it was geared towards paintball and my lifestyle in the military. Now, I used this 2012 MacBook Air for that channel, and now this thing runs slow as dirt, to say the least. Now, the reason why I'm holding this in front of you as a solution is I ran across a video on YouTube talking about Linux Mint. Linux Mint is the closest thing that you'll get to the Mac OS, I guess, environment or feel. So with that said, I'm going to flash Linux Mint. I'm going to show you guys how I flash Linux Mint on my old MacBook 2012 Air, MacBook Air from 2012. My old 2012 MacBook Air. There we go. All right, so I'm going to show you guys how to flash Linux Mint on this, and I'm also going to show you guys how I'm going to throw Jellyfin back on here so I can have my Jellyfin server, and then I'm going to show you how I am going to throw back SAMBA on here so that I have my network server so that everyone up in here is still pushing through. Buckle in, boys and girls, because I need to get some coffee and we're going to be here for a while. That's 3 different projects in one video. I hope you're ready.
The Zeek Quad.
All right, more better. So right now I'm on my MacBook M2 and I have my USB drive hooked up to it. What I need to do first is pretty simple. We need to take the Linux Mint operating system image, which is on a ISO file. We're going to flash it to the USB drive so that we can use it to flash our 2012 MacBook, which is sitting next beside me. So let's go ahead and head over to Linux Mint. Download, and then we're going to click on Linux Mint and we're going to let that cook. So essentially what we're going to do, we're going to let that finish downloading, and the next few steps after that might seem a little tricky as opposed to, if you're just used to flashing Raspberry Pis, but the idea is very simple and I'll walk you through the steps. All right, so in order to flash our Linux Mint ISO onto our USB drive, we need to use a application tool called the Balena Etcher or Balena Etcher. And it's very simple. Once you finish downloading the application, I'm going to select our file. It's going to take a little bit. I'm going to go to Linux Mint, open. I'm going to select our USB drive for our target. Select, and then we're going to flash. Easy does it. So now we're going to let that cook, and once everything is done, I will walk you through the next steps. All right, so now that that's complete, we are going to safely eject our USB drive and then switch gears to our 2012 MacBook. Alright, so as you can see, the old MacBook is powered down. I also have my Linux Mint USB flash drive in hand. I'm going to go ahead and insert that. And then once I'm done, when I hit the power button, I'm also going to hold down the option button so that we can bring up the boot selection menu, which we will be able to choose the device to start from. Alright, from here, we're going to select the EFI boot. Alright, and then from here, we are going to select Start Linux Mint. Alright, it looks like we have life. Alright, so we're going to select the disk. Alright, and now we are at the install menu. So this computer currently has Mac OS X on it. What would you like to do? We are going to select, well, for me, I'm going to select Erase Disk and Install Linux Mint. Install now. If you continue, the changes listed below will be written to the disk. Otherwise, you will be able to make further changes manually. Continue. Once this is finished with the installation, we can then safely eject the boot drive and continue installing Samba and Jellyfin from there. So I'll go ahead and speed this process up and meet you guys at the next task. All right, so we fully installed Linux Mint onto the 2012 MacBook. We updated the package list, and I also installed OBS so I can do some live recording. The way that I'm going to set this up is the storage on the actual machine is going to be for the machine, and then for the applications for Jellyfin and the network server with Samba, I'm going to host that out of SSD enclosures hooked up to the MacBook. That's my thought process. Let's go ahead and push on with installing Jellyfin. All right, so as you can see, we are at the terminal for our 2012 MacBook. What we're going to be doing next is installing our network file share. The reason why we're installing Samba also first is because it's really quick and easy. So after you're done updating your package lists, we're going to sudo apt install Samba. Alright, so as you can see, my USB drive is properly mounted. And I'm telling you guys that because for the longest time I was running this on the MacBook and it wasn't working, and I came to find out that my USB drive wasn't seated properly. So with that said, it's mounted. We're going to go ahead and set our permissions. Then after that, we're going to go ahead and edit our config file. I'm going to scroll down to the very bottom where we're going to add our text. All right, Control X. We're going to hit yes to save, enter to get out of there. All right, so now what we're going to do is create our password. All right, and then we're going to restart our Samba share. After restarting, we're going to go ahead and verify that Samba is running. All right, so the last part of this bit is pretty much just figuring out what your IP address is, connecting a client on the network to your file share, and then testing the connection by sending over a file. So I already did. Everything's good to go. We are going to press on to Jellyfin. All right, so pushing forward with Jellyfin. As you can see, I have already connected my Jellyfin NVMe enclosure. What we're going to do first is identify the name of our NVMe drive. All right, so here we are. Here is my NVMe enclosure, and now we're going to proceed to installing Jellyfin and creating the necessary directories we need for our media. Because we're using my NVMe enclosure, we are going to have to create a permanent mount location. All right, and then after that, we're going to get the NVMe's UID. All right, and after that, we are going to copy it and use it to paste into our configured auto mount. All right, Control exit, yes, enter. So we're going to unmount at the current location, which is the auto mount, and then we're going to remount at our new location that we already set up. All right, Gucci. All right, we're going to verify that it is mounted in the new location. All right, so the next step is very important because we are creating our Jellyfin's data structure. So what we're going to be doing is creating a config, a cache, our metadata. All right, now we're going to create our actual media libraries. And now we are going to link everything to the NVMe drive. All right, so that actually worked out beautifully. You guys have no idea how many screen recordings it took for me to figure out how to get to pointing all the directories to to my actual NVMe drive. But we're gonna go ahead and press on by installing Jellyfin and getting in the wizard setup portals for Jellyfin on the browser. All right, next we are going to install Jellyfin. All right, so as you can see, welcome to Jellyfin. We are in the home stretch. If I created my directories and linked them correctly, this should be super simple. I do not know why I did 3 projects into one, but we are here. And that is all that matters. I'm super proud of you guys for hanging in there with me. All right, so now we are going to set up your media libraries, or my media libraries. All right, let's go to movies. And then this is where we need to correctly input our path. All right, so here we have a visual example of what everything should look like. I am in my downloads folder. This is where my media is. And if you're following along with the guide, the command above actually shows you your path for your folders. So you would just change movies for shows, and you would just change the name of your content for whatever you're trying to bring over to your Jellyfin directories. But essentially you're going to repeat that process for all your media, and Bob's your uncle. You have a network file share and a media server for your home lab. As you can see, folks, we have our home temporary ZeekSecLab, and it doesn't look the best. This is my 5th time trying to record this conclusion. My daughter's laughing at me on the couch. But anyways, nonetheless, I hinted to you guys that we are going to be starting our own home lab series. Super stoked for that. Aside from that, I gotta check my Gmail, man, because your boy is kind of making waves, and I'm super stoked for the response that the community has given to support the channel. I have a bunch of projects that I would love to share with you guys, and I'm working on the channel update video, long video for that. I'm gonna let you guys know what to expect in March and April, and then we'll reset and do this again. But my name's Zeke. If you guys enjoyed this build guide video, go ahead and leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Tell your grandma, hey grandma, I learned something new. I would like to make you a Jellyfin server, and see what she says. Anyways, my name's Zeke. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.